out of the body. Center for Consciousness Studies. Short course, learn about human evolution. Day 4. Is it possible to regress spiritually?
Involuir. É possível. Então, você deve ter a tua resposta aí com você, né?
Is it possible to regress or to involute spiritually? You probably have an answer for that, don't you? But I will tell you something. There are many things to be evaluated and questioned. One of them is the referential question. If you take into account the path of several reincarnations, you find out that some consciousness speed up while others slow down. So far so good. Imagine the world population is a big procession, and in it, there are some people who go in front, and others who stay in the last lines, way behind. This is a way to understand the evolutionary process, how we make this path. The point is, the people who are far behind can move very slowly or stay still. Standing still means not adding any kind of information, not changing the symbolic universe, not changing yourself as a consciousness, not opening the mental space to understand life in a more productive way, not becoming independent. There are people who stay the same, thinking it's better not to change. So the question is it possible to regress? Before, I believed that if you already have some knowledge, if you have reached a point, there's no way you can lose it. But there's another thing that needs to be considered, the fact that it's not a matter of losing something, but the possibility of getting everything in the wrong way. Imagine you are a drug user, but you've already managed to do certain things, have already managed to achieve some growth. You've already done things related to spirituality, for example. And suddenly you changed your point of view because you had joined a sect that tells you, look, the path is not in this direction, follow this other way. Everything you once believed or were doing may lose all the value for you, even if you had good results. You can even enter a denial state. We all have it. You simply become limited by a condition that's not necessary in our life. When we create a tubular way of thinking, it can take us anywhere, except to evolution. No narrow-minded way of thinking leads us to evolution. When you say, it has to be this way. No. Nothing has to be done in any specific way. Things have to be open and we have to flow easily, learning about everything that surrounds us. Be open to knowledge to understand everything, otherwise we won't. Regressing means denying things. Regressing is closing yourself. We can do this in so many ways. For example, when you start using drugs. Do this and see what happens. You start considering drugs a very important reference point in your life. Because you start having a sense of freedom, a false sense of freedom. But this is what you need to avoid contact with all the junk that is inside you, ready to burst. So you think drugs are nice. I can use marijuana, I can use mescaline, heroin, crack, I can use alcohol, tobacco, and many other things. And all of them to relieve the angst that we are unable to notice, and, as they become so important for us, we don't see the path we could make through self-knowledge, spiritual growth. What happens? It's not worth any more. When you have something that gives you a lot of pleasure, you go down to the base chakra. Pleasure in the base chakra is total cloudiness, and this is what possibly blocks you from doing anything else in life, except to become a plastic fern, or something like that. A small step to become a plastic fern. You are probably laughing at what I said. I'm laughing too, because I think we need to grow, evolve, be better, have a happy life. A really happy life. But you won't evolve using things to become happy, because this is not happiness, this is euphoria. We're happy when all our inner structure is being developed on a daily basis so that we become better and more productive. So, we can consider that regression is possible. I always thought everyone grows if they have good content. I thought it wasn't regression, but stagnation. However, when you close your ways, everything, all the doors, getting involved with things that don't take you anywhere, maybe you're restricting yourself so much that we can call this regression. I still question it, but I think we can almost name this as regression. Humans restrict themselves and lose their infinite capacity to do things that we have the ability to do. I have been taking notes, and I would like to add to the restrictions created by us. Drugs, drinking, smoking, the disorganization of the base chakra, the exaggerated search for sexuality. I'm not saying that sexuality is bad. No, I'm just saying that when you look for a sexuality that poisons you, it's already not a good thing. Addictive things are not good. More examples are emotional difficulties, violence. Have you ever seen such a thing? The emotional difficulties we have need to be reorganized, and it's possible. They hinder our growth and our evolution. They make us lose inner growth space, because our inner self is badly damaged. There's something else too, that strongly disturbs our evolution, the possibility of having power. Our world, where we are, you can talk about it. I also can. Every time you give power to someone, you just point out a level of incompetence for them they don't realize. The worst part is that this person really thinks they have the power. Because they can do whatever, they can manipulate and destroy people, and they may say, I have power, I am in charge. This is a false perception we have because the word power, per se, is something created by us. When we talk about the power of God, look, let me tell you something. An extremely evolved consciousness does not punish, condemn or evaluate. It simply stabilizes everything in the universe. So, we cannot think that power, or any other word we created with this meaning is true. Power does not lead anyone to growth. I believe when you have it, the number of lies you have to tell yourself and the others is so big, that you fall into the mousetrap you created and are unable to see. To conclude what we're talking, I believe we could risk affirming that yes, regression is possible. But we have to learn a little bit more about it. On the next day of learning about human evolution, according to my notes, I will talk about we are an experience. See you soon.
E aqui nas minhas anotações eu vou falar sobre somos uma experiência. Nos encontramos.